Hello students. In the last lectures we had discussed about the Hardy-Cross method, and during that discussion we had come up over the equation of delta. That equation that I have written here, delta is equal to minus sigma hf divided by n sigma or summation of hf upon qa, right? So you know that what is the difference between this summation and this summation. This summation includes everything that is even in negative will give you a positive value, right? So what we are doing is the absolute sum here, and there in sigma hf it is the actual sum, whatever it is, right? So this is the equation of Hardy-Cross method, and by using this equation we will solve all the types of problems which will involve Hardy-Cross method, right? So as I had in my earlier video said that in the next lecture we will discuss about Hardy-Cross method by solving a numerical problem, right? So here a numerical problem is given. You can read this numerical problem. We have to determine the distribution of flow in the pipe network as shown in this figure, right? This is the figure. So we have to determine the distribution of flow in the pipe network shown in this figure. The head loss HF may be assumed as KQ to the power n. As we had discussed, the head loss due to friction is for one pipe is taken as KQ to the power n, where n is different for different type of formula. For example, if we are using a formula like Manning's formula or Darcy's Weisbach equation, then the value of n is equal to 2, or even if we are using Hazen-Williams formula for head loss due to friction, the value of n can be taken as 1.85. But here we will assume that n is equal to 2 by using Darcy's formula or Manning's formula, right? So what the question further says is that the flow is turbulent. As we had discussed in the Hardy-Cross method, the flow must be turbulent, right? So the flow is turbulent and pipes are rough, right? The value of K, that is that K constant, is given in the figure. In every pipe system the value of K is being given, and now we have to use Hardy-Cross method, right? So in solving any problems in using Hardy-Cross method, you have to be very careful about the sign notations and where the arrowhead is pointing towards, right? For example, this arrowhead is pointing towards inside of this section, and this arrowhead is also inside. So when I was drawing this figure, I had mistakenly drawn the arrow here, so I had to further look up to what the question said and what the figure said. So here also a discharge of 50 is entering this node, right? So you have to be very careful about at what nodes the water is entering and at what nodes the water is exiting from, right? When you are discussing about Hardy-Cross equation, what is the first step in solving this type of problem? So the first step is the marking of various node points. So we have marked this as A, right? We can mark this as point B or node B, right? Now we can mark this as C, and we can mark this as D. So what we have done is we have marked all the node points as A, B and C and D, right? Now you can see that if the water is entering from here, so the notations are up to you in which direction you want the notations to be in, right? So what we are doing is we are assuming that a flow, because here 50 is coming, right? So you have to be very sure that continuity equation is maintained, right? That is the amount of water that is entering a node will be the amount of water exiting the node. So for example, at the point A or in the node A, 50 the value of Q which has been given is 50, यानी 50 का discharge जो है वो enter हो रहा है. That means if we have in two pipelines A B and AD or DA, then one of these will have some value and the other will have that amount of value which will equate to make this value 50 equal. So for example, if we are considering that from this 50, 30 is going here, this is an assumed value. As I have told in the previous lecture, what we do is we assume the value of discharge, right? We don't know the exact value of pipe flow conditions. So what we do is an assumed value, and then we start to sort of find the value of delta, which is the difference between actual discharge and the assumed discharge. That is the difference between Q and QA. So what we do is we find the value of delta, then we adjust it, and then again try to solve it, and we do it up to a limit when the HF becomes very low or tending to 0. That is, the hydrological friction will tend to 0. So what we are doing is we have assumed here as the flow in the line AB is 30. So if the flow in AB is 30, this AD flow must be in this direction, right? And what it should be? It should be 20, right? So what is happening here? What is happening here is out of this 50, 30 is going inside AB and 20 is coming inside the AD, right? We have marked the direction also, right? So now you understand this. Now further, if we talk, if we do the calculations, so what happens is here 25 is exiting and here 75 is exiting. What is the total amount? 75 plus 25, 100. Where is this 100 is coming from? 50 from here and 50 from here, right? So what we have now, we have now calculated that this amount of water is coming 50 plus 50, 100, and 75 plus 25 is also 100. Now what we do that this is some amount of water which is coming inside, that should be also the exiting amount of water. So now what amount of water is here at this point B? 30 was from here, right? And 50 was from here. So the amount of water becomes 30 plus 50, that is 80, right? So in this BD section or the BD pipeline and this BC pipeline, the flow must be equal to what? The flow must be equal to 80, right? So what we do is we mark the direction towards from B to this point C, and we mark the assumed value of discharge as 55, right? So if we have allocated 55 in the line BC, what we are left is 80 minus 55, that is 25, right? So this water pipeline must take away with it 25 meter cube per second or liter per second. So what we are having here is 30 plus 50, we had 80 at the point B, and what we did is 55 is exiting from here and 25 is exiting from here, which makes it total 80, right? So from the node B, 80 is entering into the pipeline BD and BC, and it is also the amount that is exiting. Now if you come at point D, right? So at point D, what is happening is 20 is coming from here and 25 is coming from here, that is 45 is coming from here, right? So out of that 45, 25 is exiting from here, right? So 45 minus 25, what we are left is 20, right? So for this one, we are left with 20, and the arrow will mark in the direction of C, right? Now we have the value of the assumed discharges for all networks, but we have not calculated the amount of water which is leaving C. But now if you see that from here we calculated for point node B, and we calculated for point node D. We did not calculate for point node C, right? Or the node C, we have not calculated the assumed discharge. But even if you see that, even if we have not calculated it, 55 is coming from the direction of B and 20 is coming from the direction of D. 55 plus 20, what we are left is with 75. This is the exact amount which is leaving the system. So what we have done at this moment, or at this juncture, what we have done is the amount of water entering the system at any node would be the amount of water that would be leaving the system at that from that node, and that amount will always leave from both the pipelines, right? This is not the case that only one pipeline will lead to the exit of water. Both the pipeline will simultaneously work for this, right? So this is what we have assumed, right? And now when we have assumed, we also assume that now we divide the system into loops. You understand loops? Loop is a network, is a closed network of pipe systems. So if we carefully analyze, we are having two loops in this entire system, the loop ABDA, right? ABDA, and also we have the loop BCDB, right? So we have two loops, ABDA and loop BCDB. We have two loops. If we try to sort of make it from separate portion, so we can write like here. If we try to sort of differentiate this system, or we want to take it out, so we can write it like this. So if this system is A, B, D and again A, so what was here? Here was 30. You can see 30 is here, 25 was here, right? And 20 is here, right? Now what we do is we choose the sign convention, right? So what we do in the case of sign convention, how do we choose the sign convention? We choose that if the flow is clockwise, it is positive, and if the flow is counterclockwise, it is negative, right? So this is what we choose. So you have to carefully see in this figure, when we consider the loop ABDA, AB is what? AB is clockwise. BD is what? BD is clockwise, right? And DA is anti-clockwise, right? So AB is positive, right? And BD is positive, but DA is negative, right? Now if you see the same figure, but if you change the loop from ABDA to the loop BCDB, right? So you can see easily that the line BD is common in both the loops ABDA and BCDB, right? But when we consider this loop, that is the loop BCDB, what happens is that this very BD that we were taken as clockwise in this loop, now this BD will become anti-clockwise for the loop BCDB, right? And for this loop BC will be clockwise, and what also will be anti-clockwise is CD, right? So CD will be negative, BD will be negative, but BC will be positive. So we have to very carefully decide what loop we are working in, and after deciding what loop we are working in, we will then move on to analyze the section. So when we analyze this section, we analyze it to form our very formula that we started with, right? So when we make the table, we will do is use this very formula to further analyze the values of delta and to correct the values of assumed discharge, right? So what next step we gonna take is draw a table for each loop. You can draw the table for each loop also. You can draw the table for different for the single system also. So now what I want you to do is pause the video and draw this figure, because I am going to turn this page and after turning this page you won't be able to see the figure. So I want you to pause this video for a while and take a copy and pen and draw this figure as I have drawn, right? So now when you have drawn this figure, now what we will do is we will make a table, right? The first column will comprise the pipe, right? The second column will have the assumed flow. Assumed flow, as you all know, that is our QA, right? The value of K for every pipe is given corresponding to that pipe only. So what we will do is write the value of K in the third column. Now after finding the value of K, what we will do is HF. What is HF now? K q to the power n, where n is equal to 2. So we can write HF as QKQ square, right? Now in the next column, what we are only doing it is our formula. That formula that I had written in the start of this numerical. So in that formula, the numerator was sigma HF. So we will calculate HF for different type of pipes and we will add it up to find the value of HF. What was in the denominator? In the denominator, we had HF upon in the denominator we had the absolute sum of HF by QA, right? So we will write mod HF by QA in the next column, right? उसके बाद in the last column corrected Q after correction 1. Why I have written as corrected Q after correction 1 is because we are doing a sort of trial and error method, and in trial and error method you'll have to do different type of corrections. Yani you have to do subsequent corrections for every point, right? So we'll draw this table here. I should have drawn this a little smaller. Nevertheless, right? So we have made a table, right? And in this table, the considering the first loop, that is ABDA, you can see it in your copy. The first loop was ABDA. So in that loop, the first line was AB, the second line was BD. We will write common in bracket to indicate that BD is that pipe network which is in the which is in both the loops, right? So AB, BD common pipe, right? And then we will have DA, right? And we'll close the table because we have to sum it, right? Be very careful while watching this video. It's a very confusing topic, so you have to be very careful about it. Now, assumed value for AB. What we had assumed for AB? We had assumed 30, right? And since you can see in the figure, I have drawn the figure, AB is clockwise, that is QA is positive, right? In the loop 1, that is ABDA, BD is also positive because it is also clockwise. So what we'll do it, the assumed value of flow is plus 25, right? But DA was counterclockwise, so we will write the assumed value of Q as minus 20, right? No problem up to this. For AB, the value of K was given as 2. For BD, the value of K was given as 1. And for DA, the value of K was given as 2, right? Now, in the formula, KQ square, K is 2, QA is 30, right? So 2 into 30 ka square, 30 ka square is your 900, 900 into 2 is 1800. So what we write here is 1800. Now again, K is 1, doesn't make a difference. 25 का square कितना होता है? 625, right? So we will write 625 as HF here, right? Now what we'll do, value of K is 2, QA is 20, right? What we'll do is we will not square minus 20, we will square the value of QA, the actual value of QA. The actual value of QA is 20, the 20 ka square is 400, right? The 400 into 2 is 800. So we will write 800 here and write minus in the bracket to indicate that this is a negative HF values. So now our formula set is, what our formula set is, in the numerator we had sigma HF, and that sigma HF is actual sigma HF, not the absolute sum, right? So since it is sigma HF, 1800 plus 625 is 2425. 2425 minus 800 is 1625. So we can write positive 1625. This is what our sigma HF is, right? Now we'll move on to HF by QA, right? So when we try to find out the value of absolute HF by QA, that means we have to neglect the value of whatever it is in minus, right? So HF here you have calculated 1800 divided by QA absolute, you will find 1800 divided by 30, that is your 60, right? Now 625 divided by 25 is your 25, right? And 800 divided by 20. So here we had minus values, but we will not consider it because we have to find the absolute sum. So we will write here as 40. So what is the absolute sum is this summation. 60 plus 40 is 100 and 25 is 125, right? So this is for the loop A B D A. So if we want to calculate the corrected value, so we will find the value of delta. ठीक है, तो delta is what? Minus sigma HF divided by n times summation of absolute HF by QA, right? So what is your sigma HF? Your sigma HF is 1625, right? So we will write 1625 here divided by divided by n. What do I have? N is 2, and absolute sum of HF by QA is 125. So 2 into 125, of course negative will be here. So 1625 divided by 250 is 6.5, and minus will stay here. So what we have as delta is minus 6.5. So what we have to do is we have to what is our corrected Q? You know that QA1, that is the corrected value of Q is QA plus delta 1, right? तो इससे आपका एज्यूम जो है उससे जो है आपका करेक्ट निकल आएगा, Q निकल आएगा, ठीक है? तो QA इज योर 30, ठीक है, एंड डेल्टा 1 इज माइनस 6.5. तो यू कैन राइट 30 minus 6.5, that is equal to 23.5. Now for BD you cannot just write 30 minus 6.5. You can write 30 minus 6.5, obviously 30 minus 6.5 you can write here, but the thing is that you don't have the value of delta for the loop BCDB. What I had told you in a little while ago is that for the common pipe system we will have to apply the correction in both the loops, right? So for the pipe BD, we cannot just rely on the value of delta 1 for the loop ABDA. So we will have to find the value of delta for the loop BCDB, right? So we will just leave it here, 30 minus 6.5. Here you can see assumed flow was minus 20, right? So minus 20 minus 6.5, so this will become minus 26.5. ठीक है. Now what we will do is we will make a similar table for the next loop also. So this is our pipe. I can write here loop BC DB. ठीक है. So the pipe, फिर अब we will just write QA here, we will write K here, we will write HF. I'm not writing the formula again because you already know what the formula is. The first table we have given it, and then after that absolute HF by QA, right?